Hi guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today I thought we'd do a fun video kind of showing you guys how I kit out for a very professional photo shoot. So some of the stuff we're gonna be using, I don't necessarily always need it on a photo shoot, but it makes my camera look more professional, makes me look more professional, allows me to charge more money when I'm doing professional shoots. Specifically, usually corporate shoots or some high-end commercials that we do from time to time with clients here in town and outside of the state actually. So this is my main camera body right here, and most all this you see in front of me is about to go and be attached to this camera body. So the first thing that I like to do, because I'm going to show you guys step by step exactly how I set up for a client shoot right there on location. So the very first thing I'm going to do is actually throw a battery in. Now usually the night before I go through my cards, I go on in and erase them, get them ready. So I've already got one card in here actually, so I'm just gonna put a second one in. I do have this set up that anything that is recorded on slot 1 will also be recorded on slot 2, okay? And then the very next thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna show you guys some cleaning items because it's very important that you do clean and blow out your sensor. If you aren't comfortable touching your sensor, I totally get that. I've been doing this for a very long time, so but what I a lot of times do is I will blow this out, and then if I look in here and I see that there's still some dust or some streaks or something like that, I will take my breath and I'll go like that, very simple, right? And then I have these little sensor cleaning swabs that work amazing, and just you have to do it really lightly, and you just really lightly just kind of scrape off that condensation that you get from breathing in there, and that will get the dust and any kind of streaks you might have. And then as far as lenses are concerned, this is just a great way to just clean out any real quick dust off your lens. So I do this on every single shoot. I don't want any sensor dust, which doesn't usually show up because we're usually at a low aperture anyways. But if you're not doing this, it doesn't take long. Just go on and do this. It's real simple and easy to do. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the cage. Now I like Tilta, I have their full cage set up here. And the really cool thing is that they have this little magnetic, I guess you could call it a screwdriver that has on it. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide the camera into the cage. So, and the cage stays on 24/7, just to let you guys know. I literally just took it off for this video specifically. So you have 3 screws that need to go into it. So we're gonna put these 3 screws in, and you guys are just gonna have to bear with me because this is gonna be kind of a long video, but I wanna be very, very detailed on my setup. I feel like a lot of people that do these type of setups, they kind of jump forward and it's not as detailed as I feel like it should be. So I'll get that in there a little bit, and then I need to make sure that this bottom piece, which is very important, can screw in. And every once in a while, these will come loose, the 2 side pieces. So just make sure you just check them and tighten them if need be. Again, guys, I would highly suggest checking out Tilta's stuff for your camera. I think that they probably make the best cages in the market right now. I really, really like their stuff. It is definitely not the cheapest in the market, but I really, really like their stuff. And most newer cages for like newer cameras are gonna come with this little piece that I have in my hand right now, which is great. Whoever thought about that just was like ingenious, being able to have something. I used to actually carry a quarter or a dime in my pocket on shoots so that I had a way to tighten stuff if I needed to. So this is great because I mean I've yet to lose it. The magnetic piece is that strong. So once we get that on, boom. Okay. So the next step I'm going to do is I am going to add my lens. So throw the lens on. And we need to put our rail system on. Now the rail system is actually super easy with this system, so it just slides in. And then once it gets into the spot I want, off to the side, right here in the front, you'll see that it locks in. And then I'll slide both my rail pieces to the bottom. And I want more room on the back end, so I'm going to slide them further out in the back. I'll show you here in a second. I'll tighten it down here So I'll set this kind of in the back so we can slide some stuff onto the back. So the next thing I'm gonna set up, if I am capturing audio, we're gonna talk about setting this up right here, which is our audio piece. If I'm not capturing audio, I will throw this piece on right here, and then I will attach one of the two grips, one of the two handles. Depending on the type of shoot, I like this handle, especially if I'm gonna do vertical, because it allows me to flip the camera horizontally or vertically. So again, another tilted piece. I don't use these very often, or I will just slide this piece on, lock it in, and then boom, I'll have this set up like this, right? But 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be capturing audio. So I will not be using these pieces. And I just kind of hold them off, put them off to the side as well. Another piece that I will attach from time to time, again, if I'm going to be doing a lot of handheld stuff, you have this piece right here, which again connects to the side, just slides up like this. You tighten it in. Actually, I've got it backwards. So you slide this up, tighten it in. And this will give me an extra grip piece if I'm going to be doing stuff, and I can hit this if I need to hold it differently. So I hardly ever use this piece right here. But if I am doing some handheld shots, it's really good. You can also put a battery in here that connects to your camera to help charge it. And then also it does have a record right here, so I can use this grip as I'm doing it to start and stop recording. Again, that's what this connection here is for. But I honestly, I never use it pretty much ever, but every once in a while, I will use the functionality of just having that handheld piece. So this is just something I have off to the side that I do have, but I don't always use it. So the next thing I'm gonna do is actually 9 times out of 10, we're setting up for like professional interviews. So I'm gonna slide in my audio piece here, and we'll tighten that down. Again, I could pop out the piece on the bottom, but this should be good. I also have a tilted piece for my audio piece for the Sony. And then we could put up a shotgun mic if we wanted to, but we're not gonna be using a shotgun mic. I use the Sennheiser G4 lavalier systems, which are fantastic. So I'll slide this in next, tighten it down. And then, because it's XLR, which is fantastic, I will go on and connect XLR, put it here, boom, 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 tighten that down. Right, so now we need power, right? So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this piece here, what it is, just a V-mount battery piece. I'm gonna put it towards the back of the camera because I still wanna be able to open up the side screen here. And what we'll do is we'll tighten it down. And once we tighten it down, we can throw our V-mount battery on the back. And the nice thing about the V-mount battery is that it can also power other things as well. It does not just specifically power the camera. So we have cords. I have a couple different cords depending on what type of cords you need. I have 2 separate types. So I have the L cords. So if I need to run something if I want to run it from here to here, or I just have, this is what I normally use, are the straight cords here. So I'll grab these, I'll plug in this, and again, I already have a battery plugged in, but that battery will, well, if this runs out in the middle of the shoot, the battery inside the camera will take over, and that's the biggest thing and most important. Now, next thing is we're gonna unscrew this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on the next piece, which again, something else that I really don't think you need very often, but every once in a while. This is another Tilta. This is the clamp on this, the matte box, the MB-T16. It's like $100, I think. Again, this is used as just to make my camera look fancier than I really believe it is, right? This is to make the client feel like, oh man, definitely worth the money I'm spending, which I am worth the money, but sometimes it just helps. So it allows you to, in a manner of speaking, charge more. And so I'll throw the matte box on. Again, I very rarely need it unless I'm shooting outside, but it looks nice and professional, right? And then if I want to, I can move this back battery back and forth as I needed. So if it's too far out, right? And then one other piece that I will use from time to time, but very rarely, is the Tilta follow focus system right here. So if I am using a manual only lens, I can set up the follow focus system. I'll push the rails forward so it can sit on those rails. Or I could order longer rails if I actually needed those longer rails. So I do have that. A lot of these pieces, if you guys notice, I have some stuff over here to the side. This is stuff I don't use like every single day, but it's still used from time to time for shoots. All right. So the next thing is I love my Ninja 5 Atomos Ninja monitor here. Now you can run a hard drive in the back of it. I hardly ever do it just because it's so much work, especially if you're editing on DaVinci Resolve or something like that. It doesn't read the Apple ProRes comfortably and you have to convert it. And it's a whole thing. So unless it's a really, really high-end job or I need that extra little bit of longitude and latitude in the quality of my video, I'm mostly using this for false colors to make sure that we are getting skin tones right when we are shooting. That is the most important thing, is that you get those skin tones right. And then again, everything I have is pretty much Tilta. I'll grab this. And so there's a couple different mounting points. That's why I have the Tilta piece that goes on to the audio here for the Sony audio device. Is so depending on where I want to connect, and I can also connect to the side. So it really depends, but a lot of times I find I really like connecting it to the side here. So I will do that. And what I'm going to go on and do is run my HDMI cable here and here. And then what we'll do, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. We'll go on and run the monitor in here. And then we'll readjust depending on what I need. And then we will plug this in. And then of course, this will be my transmitter for audio. And then what I really like, this Countryman mic, they're about $300 or $400, I think. But they're super, I don't know if you guys can see how tiny this is. It's super, these really tiny mics, they work great outside. But I'll use these. These are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've been really happy with it. And so that's usually what I'm using. And every once in a while I have to mic multiple people up, but usually it's just one. So, and then the very last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up my headphones. Again, you could have a different type of headphone, but these are the HD 280 Pro. I think it's Sennheiser's the brand. I'm not sure, but they're super, super comfortable. And they're a little pricey. This is actually what Joe Rogan uses on his podcast, I believe. But these are great, and you have a fully kitted camera to shoot all day. I can get like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 hours maybe on this V-mount battery by, what is this? It's ZG Cine, I think is the brand. I did a bunch of research. I've been really, really happy with this V-mount battery. But so this is the fully kitted FX3, and like I said, I have follow focus over here. I do have grip handles if I need them. I have a side handle if I need it, and then I'm ready to go. I'm ready to throw this on a tripod because this will mount right here to the bottom. Throw it on a tripod, or again, if I need to. I can go handheld too, and this is it. This is the setup that I use when shooting corporate, commercial, anything, especially interview style, sit down talk style. This is how we set up. This is what the client sees, and you know, I probably don't need the matte box on the front. I can, in a lot of cases, get away with not using the V-mount unless we're gonna be shooting all day. But it looks nicer, it looks more professional. And so this is something that if you have the money and can spend on it, you're doing more corporate work, I would suggest in looking at doing some kind of kit, guys. But again, guys, thank you so much for popping in and checking out my setup. We'll catch you next time.